next week, Fabio Wardley and Daniel Dubois fight. Have you sparred either or both of these guys?
Sparred them both. 2 rounds with Dubois when he was 18. Nearly snapped my neck. I did a few rounds with Fabio in a Dillian White camp. Just a few messing about rounds. I think he only had 1 pro fight maybe at the time.
Who hits harder, Dubois?
Fabio never hit me, to be honest. We were only doing a little bit of mess around. He never hit me properly.
Good, 1, 2. Shot, nice jab. Shot, good jab. 3 shots. Short after. Good. Good shots. When he puts the gloves on, he's a different animal. In here, he's, every day, he's a very nice, polite young man. Never says a bad word about anybody. Come fight night, and he puts them gloves on. As I said before, if it was his nan in the other corner, he'd attack her.
Dave Allen gives an honest breakdown of sparring experiences, suggesting Fabio Wardley did not really land clean shots on him while Daniel Dubois was on a completely different level in those sessions. He also highlights Wardley's awkward style and improvement, but still leans towards Dubois as the more natural and complete boxer in pure technical terms.
To be honest, we were only doing a little bit of mess around. He never hit me properly. I think Dubois probably is harder though, yeah.
I was speaking to David Price the other day, and
did he mention me?
I might have asked something about you. Just put a little dig in there about you. I don't know. I've spoken to him quite a bit recently. I've interviewed him twice. Yeah, he's a nice guy. But I was asking about Wardley Dubois, not about you. And he said that Fabio Wardley, in his opinion, has closed that gap in boxing ability. Obviously, Dubois, we know what he did as an amateur. Where do you lean on that? Obviously, we know Wardley can pull out of the bag at any point, but in terms of just boxing ability, do you think they're on the same level? Or?
I think Dubois is a better.
Dave Allen clearly separates both styles, calling Daniel Dubois the more textbook and technically correct boxer while describing Fabio Wardley as awkward and unorthodox. He explains Wardley's unusual stance and timing make him hard to read, which turns him into a dangerous fighter despite not being traditional or clean in style.
I think Dubois is a better boxer, textbook boxer, but Wardley's he's very awkward, Wardley, in his own little way, because he was a late starter and does things a bit weird. He's awkward, he's horrible. You know when someone's a bit awkward and they do things stylistically, his legs are fucking quite far apart and that, and he's really awkward, really, in a way, hard to deal with, to be honest. So, he's not textbook as good as Dubois. Dubois, hands up, chin down, does it all right, but Wardley, he's world champion, he's very, very good at what he does.
Fabio Wardley openly admits those sparring rounds with Daniel Dubois were brutal learning curves, calling them painful from the very start of his pro journey. Dubois was already physically dominant and technically ahead, forcing Wardley into survival mode rather than competition. It shows just how early those sessions shaped Wardley's resilience today.
What?
You sparred with Daniel in the past. How was that?
Painful. I sparred with Daniel a lot in the very, very, very early stages of me turning professional. I'd barely been professional a year, I think. And I used to go down to the old Peacock gym when he was under Martin Bowers a lot, and spar with him then. And obviously he was way, 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 way ahead of me in terms of levels, and still big, strong, and had some great attributes, and I didn't, and I wasn't those things, and I was learning and I was figuring things out. So yeah, them sessions were quite
Fabio Wardley openly admits he was walking through fire in those early spars, taking clean shots without defensive answers and learning the hard way against a far more developed Daniel Dubois. He accepts Dubois had the upper hand back then, but now insists his evolution has been massive, even if some still doubt how much Dubois has changed.
Quite painful, and I took a lot of shots, took a lot of hits, and was taking things kind of very head on. Wasn't really sure on how to ride a shot or anything. I was just kind of taking them. So yeah, in a lot of those spars, I've got no qualms in saying holding my hands up. Like, he got the better of me, but that was 8 years ago, and we've seen the progression I've made in 18 months, let alone 8 years. So I have no issues whatsoever with accepting that, but knowing wholeheartedly that I'm an entirely different fighter.
Do you think he's a different fighter?
Not very much, no.
Danny Kelly, who has also been involved in sparring work with Daniel Dubois in recent camps, gives a first-hand warning about what Dubois carries in the gym. He points out something unusual for a heavyweight, that Dubois' jab itself is the real danger weapon, showing how sharp and clinical his punching has become in recent sparring sessions.
Thanks for speaking to us. Enjoy the rest of your time in the UK. Enjoy sparring Daniel. Just tell me quickly, does he hit as hard as they say?
He got a nice jab. His left hand is harder than his right hand. You know that's very different than any fighter. You know, they power hand would be the backhand, but his jab, yeah, he got a nice jab. Nice jab.
Carl Frock raises questions about Daniel Dubois' mentality when the pressure rises, suggesting the only doubt is whether he truly shows up when it matters most. He still respects Dubois' power, but also downplays Wardley's opposition so far, setting up this fight as the real acid test for both men at elite level.
I do wonder, when it comes on top for him, Daniel Dubois, what's up there and does he want it? That's the only real question mark I've got over his career. Obviously losing to Usyk's no disgrace, but he's a massive puncher, big hard hitter, and Fabio Wardley has never really been in there. You've got Justice Hooney, you've got Joseph Parker, you've got Fraser Clark. None of them are really bangers, are they? None of them can really punch hard for heavyweights. I'm sure if they hit you on the chin it'd hurt, but somebody like me who's got a granite chin, I think
Tyson Fury builds this into a proper heavyweight clash, stressing how evenly matched and dangerous both Daniel Dubois and Fabio Wardley are. He highlights the physical power on both sides and frames it as a true 50-50 fight, where one clean shot could decide everything in a division built on brutality and timing.
I think Wardley's a good fighter, and I think the Daniel Dubois fight is a very good fight. I think it's a great fight for British boxing. Two British heavyweights knocking lumps off each other. And these are two big punches, and whoever lands first with the best shot will win.
What makes him dangerous, you think?
Oh, they're all dangerous, all heavyweights, yeah. Yeah, they're all very dangerous. These guys are 6'4", 6'5", 18 stone wrecking machines. Look how they're built. They're built like Greek gods, carved out of stone. They're training, they're young, they're ambitious. Dangerous.
And then Daniel versus Fabio Wardley, who do you think will win?
They're both in their prime, both fresh, both young, and it's a real fight where it's not like one's past it and one isn't. They're both in their prime, so I think the fans are the real winners here. They get to see a 50-50 fight between two big heavyweights.
I wonder if Fabio Wardley is going to fall for that call out, because one thing about Fabio, he just got the belt. He just got the belt and he wants to prove that he's a legitimate champion, and I think doing so is to beat another one that was a legitimate champion, Daniel Dubois. But what does it mean for Fabio Wardley to be wanted, right? To be sought after? I think it's an opportunity for Fabio Wardley to make some serious cash.
Don Charles shuts down the noise around Daniel Dubois with a calm but confident tone, refusing to get dragged into hype talk and instead focusing on fight night. He stresses Dubois has nothing to prove outside of his record against Alexander Usyk, pointing out every other opponent has been dealt with. It's a clear message of belief and quiet confidence heading into a dangerous clash.
All I can say to all that, talk is cheap. I normally got a lot to say, but you know what? I choose to be silent today. I want to talk about today and what's going to happen on the 9th of May, and that's all. Talk is cheap. Daniel doesn't have to prove nothing. He's only ever lost to one man twice. Usyk is beat.
Duke McKenzie breaks down how both men have evolved, especially Wardley gaining that extra edge after becoming world champion. He highlights Wardley's toughness against Joseph Parker and also praises Daniel Dubois for his sharp jab, comparing it to elite-level fundamentals. This turns the fight into a technical battle as much as a power clash, especially if both jabs start dictating range early.
Because Fabio Wardley's a world champion now in his own right. And that 5% I'm just talked to you about, he's 5% better now than what he was before he won the title, because that's what it gives you when you win a world title. Now, he's just beaten Joseph Parker, right? And messed him up quite badly. It wasn't an easy fight. It ebbed and flowed for periods in that fight, but ultimately, Wardley got the job done. That's what he does. He gets the job done. Look at his career. Now, he would have improved And a lot is to be said of Daniel Dubois because he's got an excellent jab. That was the difference between him and AJ when they fought, was that jab. It was just beautiful. Wardley's got a good jab. And if Wardley's jab has improved since winning that title, then it's a battle of...
Daniel Dubois speaks with pure belief and aggression, showing zero hesitation about stepping into a dangerous fight. He fully backs himself to hand Fabio Wardley his first defeat and sounds mentally locked in for a statement performance. There is no doubt in his voice, just confidence and intent to take control from the opening bell.
I'm full of confidence for this one. Full of confidence, raring to go. And I've got to take his all. I'm going to be the first man to do it. And, I'm just can't wait to go, man.
Fabio Wardley answers with typical knockout confidence, fully expecting to end the fight inside the distance against Daniel Dubois. He openly admits the only question in his mind is timing, whether the stoppage comes early or late. It shows he is not planning for points, but for another explosive finish in a fight built on power.
How's the fight go? Well, I think it's obvious to see that I'll knock him out. Like that's easiest to say. That's known. It's just whether I want to do it early or I want to do it.
Solomon Dubois shows strong family support, backing Daniel Dubois with full confidence and predicting a knockout victory. It highlights the belief inside the camp that Daniel has the power and mentality to finish fights early. That kind of backing adds emotional fuel, but in a fight like this, belief still has to survive under real pressure.
I look up to him a lot. I'm very proud of him, all the things he's achieved in life, and I think my brother will win, obviously. I think he'll win by knockout, to be fair.
Spencer Oliver here zooms in on something that often gets overlooked in heavyweight boxing, and that is the mental side of Daniel Dubois. Physically, nobody questions him. He is powerful, heavy-handed and built for damage, but the real debate is his mindset when things get tough. The message is clear that Don Charles is not just polishing technique, but trying to unlock full belief in him. That confidence factor could be the difference between just being a puncher and becoming a dominant world-level force. If Dubois gets that mental edge right, he becomes a completely different level of threat in this division.
It's all about mindset. Don recognises that. It's not about the physicalities with Daniel Dubois. Never has been. Yeah. He's a big, strong guy, and if you get his mind right and he's that self-belief there, and that's what Don will be working on with him.
There's not many that should beat him ever.
No.
Solomon Dubois shows strong family support, backing Daniel Dubois with full confidence and predicting a knockout victory. It highlights the belief inside the camp that Daniel has the power and mentality to finish fights early. That kind of backing adds emotional fuel, but in a fight like this, belief still has to survive under real pressure.
Jesus Christ, man. That's just sensational. Honestly, that is just brutality at its best. I have picked against Fabio 2 or 3 times. I will never pick against him again. That being said, I picked against Dubois a couple of times. I think it's 50-50, and this isn't fencing because I 51-49 Fabio. Fabio can crack, unlike any heavyweight I think right now in the division, but he takes a lot of punishment. Like, we've seen it, and I don't think you can take that type of punishment early from Dubois. But it's a tremendous fight. And look, if it does happen, credit to both. Credit to Dubois. To do Usyk, Miller, Hrgovic, AJ, Usyk, Wardley is better than any run minus Usyk in the heavyweight division. And, by the way, Parker was supposed to be squeezed in there.
Spencer Oliver here zooms in on something that often gets overlooked in heavyweight boxing, and that is the mental side of Daniel Dubois. Physically, nobody questions him. He is powerful, heavy-handed and built for damage, but the real debate is his mindset when things get tough. The message is clear that Don Charles is not just polishing technique, but trying to unlock full belief in him. That confidence factor could be the difference between just being a puncher and becoming a dominant world-level force. If Dubois gets that mental edge right, he becomes a completely different level of threat in this division.
And as you know, in heavyweight boxing, unlike any other weight division, you're 1 punch from victory, 1 punch from disaster. So it's not a question of the first one to land, because Dubois, there isn't enough lateral movement. You can only teach him so much. Dubois he's been to the top of that tree. He's tasted world title success. He knows what it is to be a world champion. You can't really improve when you've been a world champion. I mean, you never stop learning, but it's whether you can actually take that and put it into action. For me, there's not enough movement from Daniel Dubois, and once those bullets start getting fired, then mate, once those shots start coming in, boy, someone's getting knocked out. It's gonna be, you know what? Their styles are gonna blend so well because, like I say, they're both punchers. They both box reasonably well. They both got reasonably good stamina, and you know, as soon as that bell goes, mate, don't blink. It's gonna be, boy. You know what? Like I say, I'm quite excited about that one.
Solomon Dubois shows strong family support, backing Daniel Dubois with full confidence and predicting a knockout victory. It highlights the belief inside the camp that Daniel has the power and mentality to finish fights early. That kind of backing adds emotional fuel, but in a fight like this, belief still has to survive under real pressure.